Welcome to Auto Cinelab, your ultimate destination for honest, in-depth movie reviews and insights. Here, we break down the latest Hollywood blockbusters, hidden gems, and timeless classics with passion and clarity. Whether you're a casual viewer or a cinephile, join us on this cinematic adventure to explore, enjoy, and discover movies like never before. Subscribe and dive into the world of cinema.
Instinct to Kill centers around Jim Becket, Tim Abell, a psychopathic serial killer and master of disguise who escapes from prison after killing his abusive father. His escape triggers a terrifying spree as he hunts down his ex-wife Tess Becket, Missy Crider, and her family. The story's tension arises from Jim's escalating deceptions and brutal tactics, paired with the relentless pursuit by law enforcement, particularly Detective Difford, Hardison, and Tess's self-defense instructor and lover, Dillon, Dacascos. The film's narrative is a classic crime thriller structure infused with emotional depth. It opens with a brief glimpse into Tess and Jim's volatile relationship, showing a transformation from romance to terror. Jim's cold, calculated nature manifests steadily, illustrated by his ability to disguise himself, evade capture, and psychologically torment Tess and those around her. The plot thickens when Jim kidnaps Difford's wife, forcing a dramatic showdown between hunter and hunted. These intertwined storylines provide ample tension and complexity. The screenplay incorporates several shocks and reveals, although some transitions feel abrupt or lacking in exposition, demanding focused viewing to appreciate the evolving mysteries. The narrative is punctuated with moments that humanize the characters, especially through Tess's struggle for survival and empowerment, and Jim's backstory revealing the origins of his violent pathology, including the abuse by his father. Overall, the story balances psychological drama with action, though it prioritizes adrenaline-fueled sequences in the latter half. The film's strength lies significantly in its cast and character portrayals. Dacascos as J.T. Dillon delivers a performance combining physical charisma with grounded emotional presence. His role as the tough, skilled self-defense trainer who becomes Tess's protector and lover injects heart and hope in a grim storyline. Dacascos' martial arts expertise elevates the fight scenes, lending authenticity to the action. His chemistry with Crider enhances the film's emotional stakes. Missy Crider portrays Tess Becket with a compelling mix of vulnerability and grit. Her character's evolution from a terrified victim to a self-assertive survivor is one of the film's most rewarding arcs. Crider avoids victim cliches, instead grounding Tess's trauma in realism while gradually showcasing growing strength through training and resolve. Abell's depiction of Jim Becket is chilling and nuanced. He presents Jim not as a ranting madman, but as terrifyingly composed, cold, and calculating. This portrayal of a serial killer who maintains control and clarity throughout his spree is a departure from typical deranged killer stereotypes, adding suspense and complexity to the antagonist. Supporting characters such as Hardison's Detective Difford provide grounding and realism to the investigation angle, while other minor roles contribute to the narrative without overshadowing the leads. More than a simple action thriller, Instinct to Kill probes themes of abuse, trauma, manipulation, and the primal instinct to survive. The film explores how past wounds, especially Jim's abusive relationship with his father, shape violent behavior and warped psychologies. The absence of stereotypical portrayals of insanity in Jim's character invites reflection on the nature of evil as composed and unemotional, not always chaotic madness. Tess's journey embodies empowerment through training and mental toughness, spotlighting trauma recovery and self-defense. The film juxtaposes her evolving strength against Jim's deceptive brutality, emphasizing themes of resilience. Deception plays a fundamental role, illustrating how appearances can mask deadly truth. Jim's disguises and manipulations are central to the plot's suspense. This thematic focus on deceit elevates the thriller atmosphere by constantly challenging characters and viewers' perceptions. The film also touches on the failures and limitations of law enforcement in containing such calculated evil, underscoring the tension between human instinct and institutional procedures. The action in Instinct to Kill is a paramount feature and one of its greatest achievements. Directed by Gustavo Grave Marino, the film employs tight, realistic fight choreography capitalizing on Dacascos' martial arts expertise. Hand-to-hand combat scenes are fluid and energetic without tipping into over-the-top exaggeration found in many action films. The pacing intensifies as the film progresses, building through escalating physical confrontations, chase sequences, and strategic confrontations culminating in a suspenseful final showdown. Action serves the narrative by expressing both the physical and psychological battles between characters. Marino's direction sustains tension effectively, balancing high-intensity scenes with quieter moments that delve into character motivations. The use of claustrophobic settings such as confined interiors and urban nightscapes amplifies suspense. Cinematographer Roberto Falcon layers the film with a muted color palette, predominantly utilizing blues, grays, and shadowy tones to reflect the grim thematic content. Urban nighttime scenes establish a covert and ominous world where danger lurks in every alleyway. Close-up shots and tracking angles emphasize emotional reactions and the character's psychological states, particularly during confrontations or revelations. The camera work adapts fluidly for action scenes, incorporating dynamic movements without sacrificing clarity. The film's soundtrack fuses electronic and orchestral elements to enhance mood. Subtle musical cues build anticipation, while intense, pulsating rhythms underpin action scenes. Strong performances, especially by Tim Abell and Mark Dacascos, who bring depth to antagonist and action hero roles respectively. Engaging and suspenseful script that deepens the typical serial killer narrative by exploring psychological and emotional nuances. Realistic and well-executed action sequences that avoid cliches and emphasize physical combat skills. Effective direction and cinematography that enhance atmosphere and maintain viewer engagement. Empowering female lead character with an arc from vulnerability to resilience. Thoughtful exploration of deception and psychological manipulation as core thriller elements. Weaknesses. Some pacing issues, particularly in the early segments where character backstories are rushed. Occasional abrupt transitions and underdeveloped minor subplots that may confuse casual viewers. Makeup and disguise effects for the killer can seem amateurish at times, slightly detracting from the film's overall polish. The script sometimes relies on genre tropes, limiting originality in scenes or dialogue. Compared to other serial killer thrillers like C7 1995 or The Silence of the Lambs, 1991, Instinct to Kill leans more heavily on action elements, prioritizing physical conflict alongside psychological suspense. While it lacks the deep investigative procedural detail of those films, it compensates with a high body count and visceral combat that appeals strongly to action fans. Its portrayal of the serial killer as a calm, collected villain differentiates it from depictions of mentally unbalanced murderers, offering a fresh take that emphasizes hold calculation over madness. The film's empowerment theme through self-defense training and surviving abuse adds an additional layer often missing from typical genre fare. Though not a mainstream blockbuster, Instinct to Kill has garnered a cult following among fans of B-movie thrillers and action cinema. Mark Dacascos' performance and the film's blend of martial arts with thriller tropes are particular highlights praised by viewers. Reviewers have noted its ability to sustain tension and provide satisfying action sequences despite production limitations. Its sometimes raw, unpolished qualities are embraced by enthusiasts who appreciate the film's earnest approach and emotional resonance. Instinct to Kill, the serial killer's deceptions, is a compelling ride through the darker corners of human nature, deception, and survival. With solid direction, standout performances, and a unique blend of psychological intrigue and martial arts action, it delivers an experience both thrilling and thought-provoking. While it may demand attentive viewing and patience for its sometimes uneven pacing, the film rewards with a memorable antagonist, a strong heroine, and kinetic energy rarely matched in the genre. For those seeking an action-packed thriller that also delves into emotional and psychological depths, this movie is a noteworthy choice.